to another round of the Super Mario Land 2 Randomizer Tournament. My name is Typo, and I'll be doing some commentary tonight, or this afternoon, or this morning, wherever you might be. We have a matchup here against Slashinfty and Oh Dear, the creator of the Randomizer, versus the current world record holder for the Rando. I know that's kind of silly because every seed is different, but yeah. I believe Deer does have a 30-minute time, which is the best that anyone has ever gotten so far. So this should be a very interesting matchup. We are using 1FF for the rando generation. Now, what 1FF means is everything is randomized. Levels, exits, bosses, enemies, power-ups, platforms, and then of course, we can't not include randomizing physics, scrolling, and most important, overall, the music. So this is the third round. The fourth round, which is the one that will be coming up next week, will be the Beast Mode Randomizer. Same settings, except just a heck of a lot harder. So some pretty interesting matches coming up, but for the time being, let's enjoy this match between Slash and Oh Dear. So they should be starting up pretty soon. Thanks, as usual, to all of the Randomania staff for getting this stuff set up. The restreamer, the tracker, and whatnot. Thanks to everyone that is participating and watching this event. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to list them out in chat. I'll be responding to all questions, whether I can answer them or not. Doesn't really matter. Alright, so it looks like our runners should be underway in about 30 seconds or so. Alright, so we've started on SRL. You will see a little bit of a delay on this, as this is the restream of the opponents. So, looks like Slash and Deer are getting started, and the first level is miserable. This is one of the worst things that can possibly happen, and I'm not joking. This is what looks like moon physics. You're Small Mario in a level where you do not want to be Small Mario, and it's an auto-scroller. I could not have figured a worse combination, but it looks like they're doing pretty well so far. You know what, actually, I think the space physics or the moon physics do help out a bit here. If they didn't have that, it'd be a lot worse. So let me change my opinion of this and say this isn't as bad as it could be. If this was normal physics, it'd be a big issue. But it's just the auto-scroller that makes this bad. Yeah, they got through that pretty quickly. Alright, so, they got past the first part, which is a bunch of spikes. They got their power-up. Looking pretty good so far. Unfortunately, this is going to be a slow level either way, just the natural byproduct of playing an auto-scroller. That bullet build there is pretty nasty. Yeah, and as we can see, Deer does lose his power-up there. So Slash is now Small Mario, Deer is Large Mario. Not too many other things that are going to cause a lot of issues. I'm not sure how the moon physics work with this final bullet build that you usually hop on top of to get up to the end of the level. So once they get to that point, we'll see what they do. Alright, so Oh Dear going to Small Mario. So this is what they're going to do. You need to be Small Mario, I think, for the end of this level, so you can jump just above the Bullet Bill cannon, and then jump above that, because you can't do, I guess, a proper Bullet Bill hop due to the physics. So we're going to see both... Oh, and Deer takes a death, unfortunately. That's going to set him back a bit. Meanwhile, Slash... Moving forward, he takes the bell so he can get a power-up. Yeah, unfortunately, a death in an auto-scroller is very, very bad for progression, as you see here. Deer does take another death, so he will be a bit behind. Meanwhile, Slash, I'm not sure what he got, if he got a power-up there. And here we go again, another auto-scroller, and this time it's the gear level. So the auto-scrolling seems to be very prevalent in this particular randomizer. You can see that the auto-scroller actually kind of stops here. So that's nice. It doesn't completely crush you. But I'm not sure how Slash is going to get up here. Yeah, okay, so we had to reset the level. So that's one of the side effects of the auto-scroll in this gear level. You actually have to get up to that top gear before it stops scrolling. Pretty interesting. These are things I never even thought of. Alright, so Deer progressing through this first level. So I guess for this second level, you do need to get this super jump here. And that is what Slash is trying to do. Alright, so you didn't need to get the super jump, he just had to go over to the gear to the right. So your choice, I guess, is to do the super jump immediately, or try to rush over to that gear to the right and then jump backwards. And that's what Slash did there. Alright, so Deer finally completing this first level, about 4 minutes in. He will not take the bell, he's going to go straight over to Tree Zone, so he'll be on the same level that Slash is right now. Slash just meandering through the gears. Nothing of note right here. Pretty easy section. Deer getting the super jump. Looks like a pretty good progression through this level so far. So he's caught up a bit now. Alright, so keep in mind, once Slash gets near the end of the level, there is a pretty nasty thing that can happen up here. A Koopa can spawn, if that happens to be the randomized enemy, and fall on top of you. So you have to be careful about how you approach this gear up here. And there it is, it hit him. Unfortunately, he did lose his power-up, but that's a little common thing that I always hated about this level. Alright, so we move on to a famous level from Macro Zone. Everyone probably loves this level. It has 2 exits, a top exit that you need Fire Mario for, and a bottom exit that you can get with any power-up you choose, or no power-up at all. Looks like Slash is going to test this power-up up here. It is the Fire Flower, so he can just keep that and take the secret exit, which he will probably do. Meanwhile, Deer entering this level, and he'll probably take that same power-up, so I believe that both of these runners will go for the secret entrance. Or the secret exit, I'm sorry. Alright, so that block over there, where Slash just ran by, that is also a power-up. Obviously, he doesn't need it, but always nice to have a few options here, just in case you do want to take that top exit. So he's going to hit these 2 blocks, break these blocks in front of the pipe with fireballs, and then head past these 2 enemies and take the secret exit. So we'll see if this is the correct one. Meanwhile, Deer just about half a level behind. Skipping over that bell. It was the correct exit for Slash, and he goes to a pretty simple moon level here. This is the bonus moon level. Really quick to complete. He'll be out of this in about 10 seconds or so. Alright, so Deer taking the same exit. He'll be all set with progressing through Tree Zone. Alright, so Deer decides to take the right path. Unfortunately, this is the ball level, which is definitely longer than that moon bonus level. So Deer is going to lose a bit of time here. While it looks like Slash is in the final level of Pumpkin Zone. Not sure if this is moon physics or space physics. It feels like space physics for some reason. But I might be wrong. Alright, so goes for that block there, which could be a useful item. Unfortunately, it's just a heart. One of the big things in the randomizer here is hearts are pretty useless because you can do what is considered a soft reset. If you do take a death and you have no lives left, you can just press Start, select A and B, and it will bring you back to the pipe screen, and you can just start from where you were again. So the number of lives you have in the randomizer isn't really an issue since you can do soft resets. Alright, so it seems like it is moon physics for this level. Slash just jumping over these blocks. You have to make sure you don't fall in there, otherwise you have to go down and then back up. And we have Tatanga. So Tatanga with moon physics, probably not the best thing. Let's see what strategy Slash takes here. Does get hit. Has to be careful coming around the side, and unfortunately does die. So yeah, I mean, the fact that you can't react as fast with moon physics, and you can't float far enough above Tatanga as you would with space physics really does make this a tougher fight. Alright, so Deer just negotiating these brooms. Slash right behind Deer at this point, so Deer has caught up all the way, and these two are fairly even. Alright, so as Small Mario, Deer is now in the Tatanga fight. We'll see how he handles this. Slash right behind him. Chooses to jump up, go all the way up, jump up, go all the way up, and then do it a third time, and that is pretty much a perfect fight for him. So Deer with his first golden coin. And he will most likely move on to the Space Zone. Slash playing it safe here. And there is Tatanga down for Slash, so he is also getting his first golden coin. Space Zone 1. Well, I mean, it's unofficially Space Zone 1. I don't really know the classification here because it's kind of like the entrance level, which is usually the bubble level, ends up actually being the Space Zone 1 level. So, two exits here, once again, a top exit and a bottom exit. A lot of times you'll see runners take the bell and then kill themselves here, because it allows them to just re-enter the level and choose one exit or the other, and if they're wrong, they can do the same thing again, and they're already at the halfway point, which just makes things a lot easier. So what we see Deer doing here is hitting these invisible blocks, grabbing the Fire Flower, and then jumping as far forward as possible. Has to be a little bit cautious about those enemies there. Looks like he is not going to grab the bell. He is going to go straight for the bottom path, so hopefully that'll work out for him. Slash, on the other hand, getting this carrot here, and opting to take the bell, but also take the bottom path. So let's see if it's correct. Fortunately, it is. So Deer will progress, and it looks like Slash will progress as well. So these two still very close to each other. As we move on to what is traditionally the second level of the tree zone. Alright, so once again, two exits. Top exit and a bottom exit. Normal physics. The top exit's very easy to get to if you have bunny ears. If you do not, there's a number of things you can do. Number one, you can actually jump on the cowfish and have that propel you up to the ledge that leads you to the exit. Number two is you can do a super jump from just below to get up there. Fortunately, Deer doesn't have to do either of those because he gets the bunny ears, so he can just fly up there. My assumption would be he does take the top exit, and he does. And since Slash already has bunny ears, he'll probably be doing the same thing. So we'll see if this is correct. And it is. So far, we don't have any wrong exits from these two players. Deer progressing to the final level in Macro Zone is what it normally is. So you have to be careful of these spikes here. Just have to stop a little bit and jump forward, just as you saw Deer do there. He is already Fire Mario, so there's no need to grab any power-ups, really. You basically want to be Fire Mario for most boss fights. Oh, but he does lose the power-up there. Luckily, that block contains another Fire Flower, so no issue there. You see Slash getting a 1-up from that block. He'll come up to that same block that Deer just hit in a bit, and hopefully get that Fire Flower. As it is the Octopus fight, this is a very simple fight. If you have the Fire Flower, you just press forward, swim up, and hit the Octopus with as many fireballs as it takes to kill him. So that's number 2 for Oh Dear. And he will move on to Macro Zone next. Meanwhile, Slash just behind him, about to take down the Octopus. Alright, so the nice thing about Macro Zone is, of course, if you take the wrong exit on this first level, it really doesn't matter too much for your progression. You will have to do an extra level, but the whole thing is that one level won't always make a lot of difference because you never know what level it's going to be. That one level could be a very slow level, and the 2 levels that you go through instead may be very fast levels. So, one of the instances where you really don't need to worry too much about what exit you take. So, Deer has the option here to take the Gauntlet. It is faster, as long as the Gauntlet isn't too difficult, so looks like he's going to do that. To get into the Gauntlet, you can do it one of 2 ways. You can go through as Small Mario, or you can go through as Mario with the bunny ears. With the bunny ears, you basically want to exploit the forward movement that you have, and just kind of sneak underneath and slide through. So Slash doing the same, except with Small Mario. Deer will have room for a margin of error, whereas Slash will not, and it doesn't look like a very nice gauntlet so far with these bullet bills and that shark. But he does make it past. Very nice. Deer just flying through everything as he can. And Deer finishes ahead of Slash. But these two are still extremely close. So they will progress to the next 2 levels instead of taking the shortcut, which, you know, is fine. This is normally one of the levels from the Pumpkin Zone. Both players just took a death there. But not too much of a time loss. So the tough part about this is the stairs section. There's a lot of enemies there that can generate a lot of lag. And just in general, there are a lot of ways to die in that area. One of the issues with the lag in this level is the fact that you have these vampires with bats that are basically 2 enemies in one. So with the falling Jason masks and the vampires with bats and everything else going on the screen at once, you may just get a tremendous amount of lag, which makes things really difficult. Oh, and Slash just getting hit by that fireball. Alright, so Deer playing it safe there, stopping in between the 2 pipes. He's on the stairs now, gets hit by the Jason mask, unfortunately, whereas Slash just ducks underneath him, so it looks like Slash will get through this level before Oh Dear. So once again, we've alternated places, and Slash is once again in the lead. Alright, so the B level. Not the most fun level. However, this is not the auto-scroller B level, which makes it even less fun. So it shouldn't be too bad. Just that there are some annoying enemies here, particularly these grubs that have spikes on them, because they just kind of trap you in. And the other enemy that no one really likes are these bees that just kind of drop down on top of you. So Slash taking a hit from that bee, and he is Small Mario. He will have to be a little careful here. Deer waiting out this spiky grub. Slash gets a Fire Flower from there, pretty nice. So luckily Deer can just fly over this portion. Doesn't need to wait for the bees or anything. Catches up a little bit. You have some extra lag generated there on Deer's screen. Meanwhile, Slash is going to the final level, which is normally the final level of Tree Zone. As Fire Mario, he will not have the proper power-up to just fly through this level. He does take a death there, so we'll see what kind of power-ups he'll get in the way. If you do have bunny ears, you can basically just fly through this level. If you don't, you need to wait for all these platforms. So he does get a mushroom there. So normally you have owls, you have clouds, and then you just have floating platforms. And any of those can be randomized, so you may see a cloud where an owl is supposed to be and vice versa. So Slash taking the midpoint bell, he has another power-up that he can get over here, and another one above the area coming up. You can go through the pipe up here, and there is a fire flower, very nice. Alright, meanwhile, Oh Dear just flew through that level. Went straight to the witch fight. Alright, so that is the witch fight for Oh Dear, bringing him to a grand total of 3 coins now. And he will move on to the pumpkin zone. Meanwhile, Slash getting a left, right, right. Okay, so Pumpkin Zone 1. It is a level you definitely want bunny ears. But unfortunately, Deer took a hit there, so all he can get from that block was a mushroom. And so if you have the bunny ears, you can basically just fly over this entire level and then go into the exit at the bottom. If you don't, it's quite a slog to try to get through. So you can see that that block there that Deer used to get a mushroom is actually a fire flower if you are large Mario. Slash has a slight advantage there, having that fire flower. Alright, so Oh Dear gets a fire flower going through there. This section right here is known for being particularly bad because you can have a shark stuck in an area that you can't really get through. Oh Dear getting that super jump and heading over to the goal, so finishes the level fairly efficiently for not having the bunny ears. Alright, so we move on to what is normally the entry level for the space zone, the bubble level. Once again, 2 exits, top and bottom. You just float around up top unless you see a flying fish. If you see a flying fish, it's probably going to hit you, just like that one. The unfortunate side effect of this is you lose your cruising speed. So you are running when you first get in the bubble, and you maintain that speed while you're flying around, unless you have to avoid something, and then you just basically get reset to walking speed. Alright, so Oh Dear trying to figure out what he's doing. He's going for the 1-up. Slash just moving around that flying fish. And Oh Dear will take the top exit. Unfortunately, that is not the correct exit. Slash taking it as well, so both of these runners are still right next to each other. Alright, so Deer getting a power-up there. Pretty nice one. So he will just try to fly across here. He may have to stop if a flying fish gets too close to him. But he's going to take the bottom exit. Let's see what Slash does. So Slash sticks with just getting the bubble. These two are still extremely close. Alright, so Oh Dear finishing the level. And he will move on to Pumpkin Zone 3, which is Pumpkin Zone 3, I think. I always forget if this is 2 or 3. No, wait, this is 2, right? I don't know. Anyway, it's an auto-scroller, so unfortunately it's going to be kind of slow. Deer does have the bunny ears, which is nice for the end, if he can keep this power up the entire time. Slash unfortunately does not, so unless he can find bunny ears somewhere here, he will have to take the bottom exit. Oh, and there are bunny ears up there. There's a carrot, but he can't get to it. Yeah, the side effect of the auto-scroller here is that it's really hard to get up to that one item. And he opts to reset that, so he's going to try to get it again. Alright, so, meanwhile, Oh Dear getting to the bell. Slash sneaks through that little area, grabs the carrot, so he is all set to take the top exit as well. We'll see if the top exit is the correct one in a bit. Looks like there was another carrot further down the line, so even if you miss that first item, there's a carrot right before the end. So you'll see that Oh Dear will take the top path here. He'll just let the screen push him towards this little area up here. Have to be careful. 2 enemies here. Not too bad, though. Alright, so unfortunately that's not the correct path. Since both runners will most likely be taking this, they'll have to go through and do this level again. Deer opting to go into this level, and still trying to figure out what he's doing. Alright, so he might just want the power-up? I'm not completely sure. Get the star there, which is good, so you can just run through this now. And there are 2 more power-ups at the end here, or 3? 2 or 3. Yeah, there we go. Gets a mushroom. And heads back in. So both of these runners now pretty much even. Once again. Unfortunately, we do need to wait for them to get through this auto-scroller, so just relax, go grab a drink or something while we watch this level once again. They're going to be taking the bottom exit. They already took the top, and that was the improper one. Alright, so it looks like Slash just missed that power-up. Fortunately, he doesn't really need it, and he can always grab another one in one of the later blocks in this level. He does reset it again, though. Interesting. Alright, so Deer going through this little blinking block section. He's going to grab that carrot and continue on towards the bell. Alright, so Deer finishing up this level and moving on to the final level now of the Pumpkin Zone. We'll see what that has in store for him. Alright, so he is in what is normally the final level of Mario Zone. Normal physics, so nothing too much to worry about. A lot of bullet bills here so far, as expected. Also on the stairs, you can have Goombas or bullet bills or those hippos that shoot balls at you. Looks like 3 bullet bills and a Goomba. Some power-ups here. There's your first one. It's a star. Second power-up is just a 1-up. He takes the bottom path, and he should be at the boss fight shortly. This is normally the pigs, but we'll see what he gets. And he gets the bird fight. So, pretty simple fight with bunny ears. Just jump up, flutter, and let the bird basically kill itself. And that is coin number 4 for Oh Dear. And just as that happens, Slash finishes level 3 of Pumpkin Zone and moves on to the final level. So he is 1 level behind Oh Dear at this point. Alright, so moving on to Mario Zone. We start out, level 1 is... I can never remember where this level comes from. It's one of the bonus levels somewhere. Simply a level with a ton of turtles. It's just turtles everywhere. So Deer opts to fly over it. I don't blame him there. Alright, and Slash coming up to the boss bird fight. Three jumps, and he's done. So, coin number 4 for Slash. Alright, so we switched off to Deer's audio. So 2 levels where he just flew over both of them, basically. And the bonus level, which is the shortest in the game, has a middle exit, so a really, really easy Mario Zone. I can't think of one that's easier than that. Fly over 2 levels, and then take the shortest level in the game. That's awesome. It's amazing. So we end up with what is normally the final level of the Turtle Zone. This can be a little difficult, especially with these skeleton fish that are floating around, but they should both be able to negotiate this level with relative ease. Deer taking the bottom path there due to the fish. Grabs a star, so you can just pretty much go through everything. Slash unfortunately doesn't have a carrot power-up here, so he will have to go through this level as Large Mario. This level has some unfortunate lag spots that I always hate about it, that make the jumps kind of hard, so you do have to be careful on the platforms. Meanwhile, Deer doing the rat fight, and that is one of the fastest zone completions I've seen from a randomizer, really. Oh, and Slash just misses that mushroom by a small amount. So you can't see that mushroom when you're moving onto the screen. You kind of just need to know where it is. And even if you do hit that mushroom, you can just fall off of it as you're going towards the second one because of that gap there. Alright, so Oh Dear moving on to his final zone. We start out with what is traditionally the 3rd level in Tree Zone. Unfortunately, he is a little bit too low here, so he's going to have to take the other path. There's a path to the right, Oh yeah, actually he didn't even need to do that. Alright, so switches over to Fire Flower. Okay, second level here is normally the second level of Pumpkin Zone, I believe. This is kind of a challenging level because of the way enemies are randomized here. There are a lot of enemies, some kind of tough ones. I always hate that umbrella. That umbrella is just so difficult. So once again, Deer has two exits here. For the bottom exit, he needs to at least be Large Mario to get through the blocks. For the top exit, you can have any kind of power-up and none at all. Alright, so he grabs that carrot there. He's in good shape to take the bottom path. Gets hit there, but that doesn't matter. He actually had to get hit to get through the blocks. You can't get through them with Carrot Mario. Alright, so moving on to the final area of Turtle Zone, the final level of Turtle Zone. Meanwhile, Slash gets his 5th golden coin. So he will enter this zone very shortly, as Deer is just a little bit more than 2 levels ahead of Slash at this point. So this final level is, of course, the star level, I guess you would call it. It's an auto-scroller. It has space physics, so nothing out of the ordinary there. Pretty simple stuff. A very long level that you just have to deal with and make your way through. Yeah, so the randomized platform is making this a little bit different for Slash, as we saw it was different for Deer as well. Deer seeing a fire flower there, but he already has it, so no need to grab it. Slash moving on to this Pumpkin Zone level. So he's going to want to take the bottom exit here. Moves around that umbrella with relative ease. Makes it up through these pipes. He does have a star, so no issues with enemies in there. He's going to stick with his fire flower. He's going to go back and grab that star. Always nice to have. Alright, so Deer coming up to the final boss fight before the castle. And that will be the pig fight. With fireballs, this will be very quick. So the only thing here is the space physics do make this a bit of an awkward fight. Normally you would just jump up and kind of kill the pigs right away, but we can see that Deer was just trying to move around the arena and get in a good spot to use the fireballs effectively. So yeah, that's coin number 6 for Deer, and he will be moving on to the castle. Alright, so the physics can be randomized in Castle, as we've seen in previous randomizers. We don't know what Deer's going to get. Alright, looks like a normal castle. Some sleepy music. Shouldn't be too hard to get through. unfortunately gets hit by that large fireball coming out of the piranha plant, but I don't think he wants to worry about that at all. He probably wants to be Small Mario. Yeah. So Deer's going to stick with Small Mario throughout the castle. It makes navigation through this second area, this second level of the castle, I guess, much easier, or much quicker, at least. You just jump up against that wall to trigger that platform early, and then you can just jump directly onto the second platform and keep your forward momentum. So some randomized platforms here. Looks like we have some of those skeleton platforms. Yeah, a lot of skeleton platforms. Okay, every single platform was the skeleton platform. Interesting. Gets a carrot there. That's always nice. Can float directly over everything in this room. Meanwhile, Slash is getting close to the boss fight here. Now you see that Deer intentionally jumped into that spike there, because as Carrot Mario or Bunny Ear Mario, whatever, you cannot do the twist attack that allows you to kill those faces in one hit. Alright, so Wario fights, this is pretty easy stuff. Just stand on the chair for the first 3 hits. The next 3 hits, you want that clock at the bottom to read either 0, 4, or 8 on its final digit. And that allows you to already know exactly what pattern Wario is going to do. He drops down over there and makes things really easy. And so we have the final 3 hits here. One, 2, and 3. So Deer just barely getting under 40 minutes here. GG to Oh Deer on his victory. And Slash just trying to get through this piggy fight. And Deer's final time is a 39:58 in SRL. So if he's interested, he may join the restream voice chat in a bit, and we'll hear what he thinks about this randomizer. Slash getting his 6th golden coin, and he will head on to the castle. Alright, so from watching Deer, we already know the castle will be normal physics for Slash, so should be fairly easy, and I think we have Deer here now.
Hello.
Hey, congrats on your victory.
Thank you.
What did you think about this randomizer?
I'm split about that. It kept switching between rather hard and very easy levels.
Yeah. I mean, the start wasn't too nice, but actually the physics for that level kind of benefited you and made it easier than it would otherwise be, I guess.
You mean the very start?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was an auto-scroller,
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise it would have been kind of iffy.
It would have been really iffy, I think, if you got normal physics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that one, you actually had 2 auto-scrollers at the beginning. I can't remember what the second one was.
Second one was also a bad one.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
It seemed like a bad beginning, but then things kind of evened out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I felt like I just continued playing like I was against Ross. So
Okay.
I had a pretty bad start, in my opinion. So.
Well, you guys were even for a long period of time until, I believe, what is normally Pumpkin Zone 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you were very even until Pumpkin Zone 2, where that was an auto-scroller, and I think Slash had reset that a number of times because he wanted the bunny ears.
Yeah. I actually thought I was further, like, after Space Zone, I was pretty sure I was ahead because I played well at that point, but maybe
Yeah,
Slash
you
had
were.
less trouble
Mhm.
with. I don't know.
You
It felt
guys
weird at the
alternated a
beginning.
lot. At one point, you were a level ahead. At one point, you were just slightly behind. But yeah.
There wasn't really anything that stood out. Like, as I said, difficult things, easy things, sometimes good choices, sometimes bad choices.
Yeah. The exit choices were pretty good at the beginning. Then there were a few issues with
Yeah.
the exits, but nothing you can do about that. The pig fight was interesting just because of the fireballs with the space physics.
Yeah. I always wanted to do that top kill for the third pick
Yeah,
on Randomania.
that was a nice
Nice
one.
to show off. Because you can despawn it at the top. Save 2 seconds by that.
Oh, really? See, I didn't even know
Yeah.
that. Learn something every day. So, yeah. So for anyone playing the randomizer, Deer just gave you some tips.
So where's Slash at?
So Slash is at the second level of the castle now, just finishing that up, going up the stairs to that power up. So he should be done fairly shortly. He's gonna get this this set of bunny ears here, so that'll help him out a little bit.
Yeah, should be fine with the bunny ears.
Yeah, he had a couple deaths in the castle, I think, but looks pretty good now. He's just short on kills. He only has 92, so unfortunately he won't get a star here.
I think I had 92 as well.
Did you? Okay.
So evenly matched.
Yeah. So it looks like he's sticking with his power-up. It's going to take him a little bit longer to kill these faces. Alright. Does take a hit there, so he's back down to Large Mario. Won't be an issue. This power-up right here will give him, I think, bunny ears again. Yep. So, 3 Wario fights here. Should be very similar to what we saw with Deer. He's just going to stand on top of the chair, hit Wario 3 times, and then, of course, that bottom timer there, and you want that to line up with either 0, 4, or 8 on the final digit to give you a nice pattern to quickly get rid of Wario number 2.
I think Slash also sometimes tends to go for one number above those. So
Oh, really?
Wario
Okay.
drops right on top of the statue.
Yeah, that's a good one as well. Alright, so 3 last hits here, and Slash is done in an official SRL time of 45:43 GG. So we'll see if he'll hop in as well, and here he is. Hey, Slash.
Hello.
GG Slash.
Thank you.
So how did you feel about that overall?
Meh.
Meh, okay. The beginning was kind of rough due to those 2 auto-scrollers to start.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've seen Mario 1 as an auto-scroller myself.
Yeah, that was interesting. You guys were actually pretty even for a lot of that, I think, until we reached the Pumpkin Zone 2, which was an auto-scroller. I know you reset that a few times trying to get that carrot, and I think that's where things started to diverge a bit.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. When I first entered the level, I saw that the first power-up was a carrot, and I got past it, and I was like, I'm gonna get the carrot, and I'm just gonna go for it. So I reset real quick, I got the carrot, and I went for the secret exit, and it was wrong, and I was like, well, if he got the normal exit, like, I'm done. Like, I lost. And if he also got the secret, maybe I have a chance. And then I just, like, I died 3 times. I was like, well, I probably lost at this point anyways.
Well, Deer did something interesting there, and I'm not sure why he did it. Maybe he can explain. He actually took the wrong exit, but then he went through the level afterwards.
I thought it would be quicker to just finish it. It was the wrong choice.
Oh, okay, I see.
Just a mistake.
Yeah.
Once you're 10 seconds in, you just... Well, I have trouble with resetting at that point, so I just keep playing then.
Okay, that's fair enough. But yeah, I mean, it was a great race for most of the way through. You guys were really close. I think at the end, once you got to the turtle zone, Deer was about 2 levels ahead. So that's where things diverged.
Mario Zone was funny. I want more zones like Mario Zone.
So I've never. One of the other big things that Deer was able to get a bigger lead was the Mario zone was the fastest I've ever seen anyone complete a zone, pretty much, because the first two Deer just flew over everything. The third was, of course, the fastest zone in the fastest level in the game, where the exit is just in the middle. And then the fourth wasn't bad either, but it was just an extremely fast zone if you did have the carrot.
Yeah. Carrot is good in randomizer.
Yeah.
Take notes.
So any other spots that you wanted to mention, Slash?
Nothing in particular. I did just put in our results. We can briefly mention what the matches are for next week.
Oh yeah, sure.
So I will be playing against Liam Piper. Ross, aka Late Learner, will be racing Beast Frisian. So that'll be a good one.
I smell a match-up versus Rave.
Yeah, that's a 2-1 versus 2-1. We have Rave Tuba versus Oh Dear. So that's 3-0 versus 2-1. That'll be a good one. And then we have Yoko 21 versus Lori D. Bunnykins.
Yeah, and just a reminder, this is a 3FF round, so it is Beast Mode, which will probably be harder.
Yeah, FF stands for forfeit.
Yes, Beast Mode will also showcase New Beast Mode, which will have the midways substituted for enemies.
Get out.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's no more midway bells. They've all been replaced with enemies.
Okay.
As a heads up, Typo, you have a bye this round.
Yeah, I'm so glad about that. I was really fearing this coming week, but now I can relax on a beach somewhere instead.
Throwing dogs into the bay.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, yeah, I guess the final week's coming up. I'm not sure if we're going to have another one of these leagues soon. Does this next season start automatically, or?
Yeah, it's just rolling seasons.
Oh, it's rolling seasons. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this will continue going for who knows how long. But yeah, thanks. Go ahead.
I think we'll probably have the tournament come into the year. So.
Okay. All right. Cool. Sounds good. All right. So thanks to both of you for a great matchup. Appreciate you joining into the restream afterwards for some comments.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much for commentary.
Thanks. Yep. So yeah, as usual, thanks to the Randomania crew. Thanks to everyone watching. Thanks to the runners. And yeah, we'll see you next time.